Bayer Leverkusen's fairy tale under Xabi Alonso is over. He's off to Real Madrid. But it's not just him. Jonathan Tah, gone. Frimpong, gone. And even Flo Wirtz, you guessed it, gone. The heroes of Leverkusen's invincible run all have left the building. And in their place has come a man with something to prove. A man who's been written off after a disastrous spell at Manchester United. A man whose bald head has seen both glory, but mostly shame. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Leverkusen's new manager, Ten Hag. Now, this isn't going to be just a rebuild. It's a redemption story for Ten Hag. Because if he can do what Xabi Alonso couldn't, winning the Champions League with Leverkusen, he won't just save his reputation, he'll rewrite his legacy. Alright, it's time for Ten Hag to get to work. And first thing we gotta see is who is left. And oh no, this does not look like that exciting Leverkusen team who went unbeaten in the Bundesliga. No Florian Wirtz, man. That's gonna be the biggest miss. But no Jonathan Tah as well. That's a big leader missing. Frimpong is also gonna be a huge miss. But at least we've got experienced players like Grimaldo and Xhaka to maybe build this team around. Wrong. First thing Ten Hag did after becoming the Leverkusen manager was actually have a chat with both Grimaldo and Xhaka. And before he could even explain his project to them, they submitted a transfer request. To be honest, we can't really blame them. All their buddies from the Invincible era have left the club. And looks like Granit Xhaka has wasted no time to leave the club. He's made his move to Manchester City, which I mean, fair enough. He had the choice of being coached by Ten Hag or Pep Guardiola. Of course he was going to choose Pep. And even Grimaldo has now secured a transfer. He's off to Napoli. With that, basically the entire core of Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen has left the club. I mean, hey, if Ten Hag wanted a complete blank slate to start with, he's got that. And starting from a clean slate means that the first thing Ten Hag is going to work on is the tactics. How does he want this Leverkusen side to play? Currently, we're using Xabi Alonso's 3-at-the-back system, and I don't think it's going to work with the players we've got. This kind of system needs a player like Flo Wirtz playing in behind the striker, but we don't have that anymore. We don't have the wing backs like Grimaldo or Frimpong. Even our backline I don't think is good enough, and that's why I think Ten Hag is going to have to adapt. Let's go with the system that Ten Hag found a lot of success with, and of course Ajax, where he of course took his team to the Champions League semi-final. Back then he used somewhat of a 4-2-3-1. We're going to use a bit of a variation here, the 4-4-1-1. The best players we've got left are Alex Garcia and Palacios, and this formation will have the team be built around them. But to make it work, we're going to have to get Ten Hag quite a few signings, starting with a right back. Going back to a 4-back system means that we'll need to really invest well in this position. Probably even a left back, unless we're cool with Hinkapie playing there. We're also going to need new wingers. Probably a cam as well who can fill the boots of Flo Wirtz. And already it feels like we need 5 or 6 signings to make this Leverkusen side competitive again. Now the positive thing is, with all the player sales, you bet Bayer Leverkusen have money to spend. But wait, what? Just 120 mil? I'm pretty sure Wirtz's transfer fee alone was more than that. And okay, we've got an email from the Leverkusen board. And yes, they do need to explain themselves why they're not giving Ten Hag more money. Dear Eric, welcome to Bayer Leverkusen. As part of our recruitment philosophy, we follow a strict buy low, develop, and sell high model. And that's why we're limiting the club's transfer budget to just 120 million. But also, we don't believe in signing big name players. And that's why all incoming transfers will be limited to 25 million euros per player. Do you know what? Now that the board have put it this way, I can't be mad at being given 120 million. It's the club's philosophy. This is not a club like Bayern Munich who can sign whoever they want. We're gonna have to be very smart with how we make the most of this 120 million. Okay, now I've done a bit of math. With the money we've got, we should be able to make 4 signings. Now, when we last discussed transfers, we needed about 5 or 6 players to come in. Clearly, that's not gonna happen with 120 mil. The most we can probably get away with is 4 signings. And that's why I've just converted Hinkapie to a left back. This way, at least we've got Grimaldo's replacement. And I know Hinkapie's a solid player. He will be able to do that left back job really well. Plus, in this 4-back system, it will be way better to have a defensive fullback. But on the other side, we do need a new right back. And there's Serginho Dest who's playing at PSV in the Eredivisie, and that's a league Ten Hag knows really well. Looking at Dest's stats, I think he's got everything to be a quality fullback for us. The pace is giving me Frimpong vibes, but I know he's nowhere near that level. Oh, but this signing might cost us more than 25 mil. If we can't get the transfer fee below 25, we can't let this deal go through. Ten Hag, you're gonna have to use everything to negotiate. Come on, can we please get this at 23? And yes, we can. Ten Hag has done it. And so Serginho Dest is the first signing of the Ten Hag Leverkusen era. The first of many. We've still got the big positions, the cam and the left midfield spot to bring in new players. But before that, I wanted to take a look at the goalkeeper position. We've got Lucas Radecki, but I'm not sure if he's the man to be our main goalkeeper. He's only gonna get worse, and since we are starting a new era at Leverkusen, might be time to look for a new goalkeeper. And this might be controversial, but I'm thinking Andre Onana. He's a player that Ten Hag has coached both at Ajax and at Man United. Of course, at Ajax, Onana was unbelievable, and at Man United, he was a bit of a meme. But so was Ten Hag. Maybe these two can be on that redemption journey together. And so for 20 million plus Radecki in a swap deal, we're reuniting Onana with Ten Hag. Now, I'm not done rating Ten Hag's former club just yet, because I want to sign Alejandro Garnacho from them too. Plus, after he was benched in that Europa League final, he kind of wants to move from Man United. And I think Leverkusen will be the perfect place for Garnacho to revive his career. 21 million and we've signed him. Now, there's only one signing that remains, and it's probably the most important one, but also the most impossible one. How do we replace Wirtz? And with the 25 million budget cap, we're not going to get a player of the same quality, but there is another player I like from the Eredivisie, Sam Stein. This 23-year-old, by the way, has had a crazy season for FC Twente, scoring like 27 goals. And if he's done that as a cam, it's outrageous. It's kind of similar to what Wirtz did for Leverkusen. And with the Dutch connection coming through, we've signed Stein for Bayer Leverkusen. And there you go. This is Erik Ten Hag's Bayer Leverkusen side. And I'll be honest, it's nowhere near the quality of Xabi Alonso's team. But hey, even Xabi Alonso had to start from somewhere, and that's what Ten Hag is doing. It's a very young team. Let's see how they fare in the Bundesliga. From the first kick of the Bundesliga season, it was clear this wasn't going to be easy. We struggled to find consistency, the squad was young, still learning Ten Hag's ideas. Moments of brilliance were there, but so were the drop points, and too many of them. Meanwhile, in Europe, the pressure only grew. We made it to the Champions League knockout stages, but just barely. But our journey soon ended there, because in the playoffs, we drew Liverpool. We were completely outclassed, outplayed, and kicked out of the competition. An early Champions League exit meant that the media were on Ten Hag. They were questioning every decision he made. Starting Boniface over Schick, Stein over Hoffman. The media was relentless. Even the Leverkusen fans were dropping bald memes on Ten Hag. Even in the Bundesliga, we couldn't recover. We did push late in the season, started to get some results, but it wasn't enough. No top 4 finish, and that means no Champions League next year. But through all this chaos came the German Cup. Somehow, the DFB Pokal became our lifeline. We took things one game at a time, and slowly but surely the squad started to click. Garnacho found his feet, Stein was proving his doubters wrong, and even Boniface, he was scoring in every single game. But at the heart of it all was Ezequiel Palacios. Calm and composed on the ball, controlled that midfield. In fact, he looked like a true leader, and so we made him the captain of our team as well. Bro, we're in the German Cup final. Leverkusen versus Leipzig. I'm glad it's not Bayern Munich. It's been a really rough season, man. Finishing 7th. That will effectively mean no European football next year. Not even like the Conference League. And that's why it's so important that we can lift the German Cup here. That'll get us at least Europa League football. It might help us keep our players. Because even though we had a rough season, there's been solid growth all round. Garnacho is in the 80s. Boniface is up to an 85. Palacios, the main man, is up to an 86. If we don't win the German Cup and get no European football, I'm sure just like Wirtz, Frimpong, and Tar, they'll all want to leave. And the final has kicked off. This is going to be the game that decides if Ten Hag's project is working or not. Here's Stein, the man who's been criticized a lot this season. He's been really good in the German Cup, and he gets himself a goal. What a strike that was. That's how you prove your doubters wrong. Oh, and this is a position we can do some damage from. I see Boniface making a run, and that might be the craziest cross I've ever seen. What a goal. And that is enough for Ten Hag to win his first trophy with Bayer Leverkusen. But let's not get carried away. We were poor in the Bundesliga, knocked out early in Europe. The cup win doesn't change that. It just papers over the cracks. But next year, there are no excuses. Despite all the departures we had, we've built a solid foundation. Our players have grown incredibly well, and so for Season 2, we gotta be more consistent. We're now in Season 2, and I thought after winning a trophy with Leverkusen, the board would be willing to back Ten Hag a bit more, but that's not the case. Our budget has been slashed to 43 million, probably because we didn't qualify for Champions League, but that's not all. all. The board want to continue the tradition of selling players and making profit. They want us to generate 50 million in player sales. Now, I know it's not too crazy because in previous seasons, they were forced to sell players like Wirtz, Frimpong and all. But still, at the stage where we are, where we're just building up our team, 50 million could mean a couple of players from the starting 11. Maybe the likes of Kosonu or Sem Stein. And it could completely derail everything Ten Hag is trying to build. Thankfully, though, winning the German Cup gave Ten Hag a bit of leeway with the board. And he's at least convinced them on a compromise. We will be allowed to use 50% of any money we generate through player sales. But not just that, the max transfer fee per player we can now spend will be bumped up to 40 million. And this is exactly what we need if we want to build a team to compete for the Bundesliga title. Although our first task is to generate that 50 million. And honestly, I don't want to sell any of the superstars. But there is Patrick Schick at the club, who we've not really used. Ten Hag trusted Victor Boniface way more. And of course, he's repaid that faith. He was our top scorer last season. And that is in spite the media questioning Ten Hag's decision. But that means, yes, trying to sell Patrick Schick might be the play. And already we've got offers coming in for Schick. 50.4 million from RB Leipzig. They're probably going to be a team we're competing with for the Bundesliga title. But we need to sell Schick, so we're making this deal happen. We did what the board wanted. At least we're getting a portion of that money added onto our budget. We're up to 69 million now. That should be enough for Ten Hag to bring in a couple of new players in this system. Of course, unlike last season, we don't need to make big changes. The foundation is already there. And that's why there are a couple of areas where I think we need to focus on. First being the left back spot. Not because Hinkepie is lacking something, but because he's too good to be played out in that left back position. Look at that. We converted him to a centre back, up to an 86 overall. Last season, our defense made quite a few mistakes, but now with Hinkepie there, more experience, I think we should be covered. Although that does mean we need to sign a left back, and I've got just a player, David Raum. You look at his stats and it's nothing too crazy. He's exactly the player that would fit in Ten Hag's system. A hard-working professional, and getting him for 22 million is just a steal. That defense now looks so much more balanced. Hinkepie and Tapsoba look crazy good. A more natural fullback in Raum. Plus, we've got a player like Kosonu on the bench for added squad depth. And yup, if we want to compete for the big titles, the Bundesliga and the Europa League this season, squad depth could be key. But yes, I'm not done with improvements yet. I also do want to bring in another right midfielder. Keller was great. His crossing was absolutely insane. But I want a player there who can create some magic, add some flair to the attack. I think I found the perfect player, Giovanni Quenda from Sporting. He might not be the highest rated, 79, but the kid is 19. Incredible potential. He looks like just the kind of player that would flourish at Bayer Leverkusen. Oh, but because of his talent, he's valued at like 38 million, which is nuts. But a 79 rated player, I mean, imagine the potential. The good thing, though, is that his contract is expiring. And that is some fantastic negotiations from Ten Hag to get a deal like 34 million. And with that, we've just signed Portugal's next big talent. It's now time to kick off our season, and we could do it with a trophy. Since we did win the German Cup last year, we're in the Super Cup, where we're taking on Borussia Dortmund. Here we go, boys. Could be another trophy for Ten Hag. And look at that, already new signing Quenda is in the lineup. If we can get a result here against Borussia Dortmund, it'll be a big statement that we're back to conquer the Bundesliga. And already you can see the team is gelling a lot better, and Sam Stein already scoring in 5 minutes. Oh, but it's an instant response from Borussia Dortmund. They're not going to make this game easy. Giovanni Quenda looking to open up some space. He's done it brilliantly, and he's actually scored. That flair is the reason we've signed him. Oh, but here's Quenda once again. The Portuguese kid cannot stop balling out. He loses the ball but gets taken out, and the ref is given a penalty. This could be the goal that announces us as a contender for the Bundesliga title. Boniface takes it. He scores. And with that, we've just won Ten Hag's second trophy at Leverkusen, the Super Cup. And this was just the start, because even in the Bundesliga, you could feel the difference. We were sharper, more confident, more in control. Boniface continued to rack up goals. New signing Quenda was a massive success. And what can I say about Captain Palacios? He was still the heartbeat of this side. Week after week, we stayed in the fight for the Bundesliga, racking up wins, grinding out tough games. But Bayern Munich were a machine, ruthless and untouchable. Ah, man, 2 points. That was all the difference between us and winning the Bundesliga. But you know what? I think we can be very proud of a second place finish considering how murky we were last season. This time around, though, it felt like the team adapted to Eric Ten Hag's tactics. And okay, we can see that with the growth. Look at Stein up to an 84. Quenda is up to an 82. There's growth all round. And okay, I'm just looking at Stein's stats and I can't believe this. 36 goals and 17 assists. We've just spawned the next Florian Wirtz. And no way, this is crazy. Our season isn't over yet. We've got the Europa League final. Now, I know Leverkusen have already qualified for Champions League through their second place finish. But winning the Europa League could be the confidence boost we need for next season. It might spur this team on to win maybe the Bundesliga or even the Champions League next year. Don't underestimate momentum. This is the biggest night of Ten Hag's Leverkusen project. We've got to make it memorable. We started the final off really nicely with Boniface scoring, but it was offside. But we kept applying the pressure. Boniface and Kenda were linking up nicely, but now it was Napoli's turn. Onana made a good save, but oh no, we've let Osimhen through and he's going to bury that one, and he does. Bro, Napoli aren't stopping with the pressure. Another big save from Onana. If we don't get a goal soon, I think we're going to be out of this game. Osimhen again, and I can't believe it, man. What even is he? It's over, boys. We're not winning the Europa League. Just like Xabi Alonso, we couldn't get European glory to Leverkusen. But hey, we gotta look at the positives. When Eric Ten Hag took over this team, half of it was basically gone. From there, we've managed to build an incredible team, finish second in the Bundesliga, reach a European final. If for Season 3, the board backs Ten Hag, I think we could see fireworks. Season 3 begins, and oh, this is looking good. 85 million for our budget. Is the board finally backing Ten Hag? But wait a minute, I've just got an email from the board. We believe it's the perfect time to cash in on Stein and Boniface. We've got offers worth over 200 million for the duo, and we would like you to accept it. Nah, man, is this some sort of a joke? Sam Stein, literally the player we developed. Boniface, the striker even the media doubted. Now you want to take these players away from us? That would completely cripple our project, and this is the season we want to try winning the Bundesliga, maybe even the Champions League, because the team is there, the talent is there, but it won't happen if we're forced to replace Boniface and Stein. And so Eric Ten Hag pleaded with the board, but the board were really stubborn and would only agree to Ten Hag if he was willing to compromise. The board is agreeing to not sell any players, but then it will not spend any money on new transfers. So we've got to make a choice now. Do we keep our team as is with Boniface and Stein, or do we let them go and rebuild again? For Ten Hag, this was a no-brainer. He would much rather keep the squad he's been building from day one, but now for Season 3, we've got no signings, no reinforcements. This is exactly what we have, and it probably will be our last attempt to try and win the Bundesliga, the Champions League, because I don't think Ten Hag can convince the board any longer. So I guess this is it for Ten Hag. Can we pull off a miracle? From match day 1 itself, our team looked different. There was this look in the eyes of our players. Kind of felt like they also knew that this was going to be the last season for them to achieve something big with Leverkusen, and that showed on the pitch as Boniface continued to score, but it really was Stein, the magician in the midfield. The only way he was getting stopped was by rough challenges, but he still got back up and scored. We outplayed Dortmund, secured the result against Leipzig, and for the first time in 3 seasons, it really looked like we've got a chance to win the Bundesliga. But to become champions of Germany, we all know the team we need to beat. It's Bayern Munich. This is a team we haven't been able to beat in the last 3 seasons, but if we want to become champions of Germany, we have to beat them. I definitely am nervous as we've got Harry Kane coming forward. Good defending there. I do think, though, that this time we should be more confident, though, because our team is much better than the last time we faced them. Garnacho looking to attack, and he's managed to go through. That might be the chance, but what a save. Man, that Bayern Munich attack. Musiala, Olise, it scares me, and already we've got Musiala coming at us. Serginho Dest, what a challenge. Olise coming at us, but Onana makes the save. This is bad, boys. Bayern Munich are controlling the game now. We've got to respond. The only way we can do that is by creating chances. And here's Quenda. Oh, the dribbling there. The way he got through. And the finish as well. Giovanni Quenda with the goal. Ten Hag is telling everybody on the bench to calm down a bit. But how can we stay calm, boys? Because if we win this game, there's a good chance we'll be champions of Germany. Just 45 minutes to go. Oh, but look at Stein go through. That's what he's all about. But oh, that's dirty football. Kimmich just taking him out. Bro, we need to beat Bayern Munich so bad. Wait, it's actually done. We've managed to hold on. We've beaten Bayern Munich. It's taken Ten Hag's boys 3 seasons to do it, but we've pulled it off. And yes, boys, end of the season, we've secured the Bundesliga title. What an effort this has been. 3 seasons of hard work. You bet the board are happy they didn't sell Sam Stein, because look at his stats. I don't think I've seen numbers like this from Camp. 45 goals. Also, look at the all-round growth. Kind of feels like we've built a better team than Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen. I mean, we've already achieved what he did, winning the Bundesliga, winning the German Cup. There's one thing left. Winning the Champions League. Now, in our first season, we got humiliated and kicked out of the Champions League. This time, though, much better. We finished 3rd in the league phases. That means we get to skip the playoffs. And we've knocked out Bilbao to start with. Getting through Monaco. Oh, my days. We've knocked out Man City. And here we are in a Champions League final. And this is it. The final hurdle standing between Ten Hag and greatness. To think that in 3 seasons, we've got Leverkusen playing a Champions League final. And the fact that we've done it through Ten Hag's tactics, bringing in the players he likes. But will it get us that trophy is the big question. Okay, I'm a bit nervous since we did lose the Europa League final last year. But hey, this time around, we've taken the fight to Bayern Munich, got results against them. But yep, we are now up against Lamine Yamal, which is not exciting. And here's Lamine Yamal with the first chance. Onana making a save. Looks like we are going to have a long night against probably the world's biggest talent. But we've got Garnacho as well, a player that Ten Hag has trusted from day one, even from his Man United days. Here goes Garnacho, looking to score in a Champions League final. Brilliantly done. Rebound falls for Boniface. We've taken the lead against Barca. Garnacho did all the hard work, but Boniface was there. Right place, right time. Uh-oh, this is exactly what we needed to avoid. Fermin Lopez has gone through and Onana couldn't stop him. Beating Barcelona in a final was never going to be easy. It's 1-1. Guys, we've taken the game to halftime, but Barcelona are all over us. Second half too, it's Barcelona that are just dominating the game, keeping all the possession. This is getting really difficult for us. But we are defending well, like warriors. Oh, but no, this is bad. Rafinha's broken through. Onana needs to do something, and that might be the craziest save in a Champions League final. Rafinha was completely through, and Barcelona keep mounting the pressure. They've hit the crossbar. Bro, if we keep this up, we're not winning the Champions League. What a ball that is for Boniface, who's broken through against the run of play, but he skied it. We had our one chance in the second half. We had to take it, but we didn't. And that's it, boys. The final is going to extra time. To be honest, it's a miracle we've taken the game here, because we've just not been good enough. But we've come so far. We have to try and pull off the miracle. And here's Sam Stein. He's not the best of games, but that's a lovely pass for Boniface. And Boniface has done it. Stein and Boniface's link up gives us the lead. Ten Hag's running into the celebrations as well. But the job's not done yet. We've got 15 minutes more to survive. We're almost done, boys. It's the 120th minute. Yes! Full-time whistle. Leverkusen have won the Champions League. Eric Ten Hag's boys have done it. He's redeemed himself after his disastrous managerial stint at Man United. And there we have Palacios lifting the trophy. I mean, I gotta say, what an incredible team we built. We didn't make flashy signings, but we made the signings that fit Ten Hag's system. Gotta say, my MVP, though, has to be Sam Stein. Let me know who was your MVP of this rebuild in the comments. While you're down there, subscribe to the channel too. But hey, if you enjoyed this journey with Leverkusen, I'm sure you'll enjoy me manage Real Madrid as Xabi Alonso. Click here.